So Sad is asking if the most challenging state is pre-seed to seed. I'd say not really. Probably the most challenging state is actually even getting up and running. Like most ideas probably fail as you start. You think you have an amazing idea, and by the way, I would not just have an amazing idea, let's launch. There's a lot of testing I would do to verify and validate the idea, and I'll do another episode on exactly how to pick ideas and how to evaluate them, et cetera, before you launch. But most ideas probably die in that phase. And then once you have this idea, you pull the trigger. I suspect most ideas actually fail in that love money phase, because most people realize, oh, I'm not necessarily as good as I thought I would be or this is not as fun as I thought it would be from a life perspective. I mean, these things have a tendency to be all encompassing. And so if you do it because you love it, that's absolutely amazing, and then you're not really working. But for many people, it's actually work, or it's really hard. And the reality is, it is hard. It is, a lot of it feels like eating glass, but for a greater cause, and I think for something that is ultimately fun. But most ideas die there because you can't convince people to give you money. You can't convince people to work with you. You don't have the technical skills required, or frankly, the idea, the assumptions you made about why the business was attractive don't pan out. Now, once you're funded, frankly, every stage is hard. I would go to raise capital. As I said, like once it looks like you're going to be ready from a stage perspective, about 6 months before you run out of cash, so you're not like desperate. And the way to do it professionally is to run a process. So let's say you have a list of these investors you want to reach out to, and it doesn't matter if it's pre-seed, seed, A, B, C, et cetera. You want to be reaching out to people at the same time and have the conversations be at the same stage. Otherwise, you're going to get a term sheet from someone while you're just at the beginning of conversations with others. And so you should manage this process very diligently. Like I would have a tracker or a spreadsheet where the name of the VCs, which stage you're at, who you're talking to, and it's really a funnel, right? You start with many investors to get down to the one or two that you ultimately need. But I would run this as the way you run a specific branch of your company. It is a quasi full-time job to be fundraising, and as a founder, frankly, you're always going to be fundraising. You may have just closed your round. You're going to keep having friendly conversations with other VCs.